stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Explode in your rear. Feel our voices.
Welcome back to Voice of the Republic. This is Ed.
And this is Carl.
We've got cats on our backs and toilet humor in our hearts.
Cat on back. Oh, shaking head. She's
Yeah,
not
that's a
happy.
real one.
Yeah.
Not a puppet.
So today we are talking about sci-fi. Great sci-fi movies that we think deserves a reboot. So what was your vote, Mr. Ed?
I'm glad you asked me that because this is the show about such a topic. My next reboot choice is The Black Hole.
Good choice.
Thank you. Yeah, 1979. Definitely it was Disney's bid to cash in on the sci-fi craze spawned by Star Wars' amazing success. So, in essence, it's about a team of scientists who are sent out to a space station that was in orbit, or not orbit, you can't orbit a black hole. It's a toilet bowl, no. But there was a science station that was there to keep tabs on a black hole and study it. I guess it went dark, so they go to investigate, and they find nefarious things happening inside. The problem with the movie, despite how gorgeous it looked and how cool the robots were, robot design, awesome. I think even Sid Mead had a lot to do with this. I could be wrong. Was that it was boring as shit. There's no two ways about it. The characters were not really anyone cared about. I found everybody to be boring, even as a kid. I couldn't remember anybody's names or faces besides Ernest Borgnine, and I think Anthony Hopkins. Not Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Perkins.
Perkins, thank you. He was in it. I mean, it was amazing to look at, and I was a sucker for sci-fi as a kid, but I was like, I just don't really care about these people. So I feel, therefore, it really could use a reboot without going over the top. It doesn't. But I can say that about any modern movie. It doesn't need to be over the top, and people are boxing each other in the face as they're getting sucked into a black hole. I think that's ridiculous. The robots don't need to be Transformers, and the spaceship doesn't need to turn into Maximilian. But I just think that it could just be done and make a lot more interesting story with today's savvy writers and filmmaking.
Here's the problem, though, is I couldn't disagree with you more, about the black hole. It's one of my all-time favorites. I don't think it's boring at all. I think it's a little. I will say it's slow-paced, but it's one of those movies for me that's such a simmer. It's just it just builds and it builds and it builds, and I don't know. Maybe also it's kind of like this. It was a dark little speck in this otherwise really super shiny and bright Disney universe, where you have this movie that I think is possibly one of the darkest movies ever to be branded under Disney.
That's true. It is. It's got some creepy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's really got a lot going on, and it's really metaphysical. There's lots of crazy, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on in that movie, and it has a great cast. I do kind of agree that some of the characters kind of blend into you can't tell Dan from Charlie, Captain Dan from Lieutenant Charlie. But the thing is for me, that almost kind of works into the story because they're just these clean-cut military guys. They're the military guys. They're just there holding down the fort, while these scientists are the ones that are, the actual stars of the movie, Maximilian Schell as Hans Reinhardt.
Yes.
Was the Dr. Reinhardt was the big kind of antagonist in the film.
Right.
I just couldn't love that movie anymore if I tried.
I do own it. I do enjoy watching it.
And that soundtrack,
I'm not. Oh, the song. I mean, I'll never get tired. I mean, it's amazing. And I'm not saying scrap it. I'm not saying it was a terrible thing. It's no Temple of Doom.
Oh.
Jab, jab. Ooh, below the belt. No, I do enjoy it, but I'm just saying if you're gonna look back and be like, as they do nowadays, just if you're gonna pick a movie to reboot and hopefully do well, in my fantasy world of this podcast is making better stuff. People will hear our voices and brilliant ideas and make amazing things. I would like to see the potential that Black Hole has to be like a truly great sci-fi movie.
Well, here's the thing: is you actually might get a chance to see that because there has been a remake of the Black Hole in the works since like 2009, supposedly.
Okay, cool.
And it's one of the directors from Tron Legacy, I believe. Like not one of the director, the original director from Tron Legacy. Is supposed to be the guy that was tapped to do it because there's actually, if you watch Tron Legacy, there's actually an Easter egg where they actually have one of the posters from the Black Hole behind Flynn's son, like his toy, like he has like a thing of all toys, and in the background there's kind of like a little postcard poster of the Black Hole. So yeah, that was all like kind of like wink and nod. That's my next movie, wink wink. But it still hasn't happened, so we'll see if it ever comes together. But
okay. Well, that'd be cool. I mean, I love the Tron Legacy, so.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was
Hope
very good, also. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big fans. Yeah. What you got?
I'm going with kind of what's going to be a little bit of a theme here, probably for my last couple of things we talk about. I am going with the John Carpenter classic, They Live.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because I think all the concerns that were still there, like back in the 80s when John Carpenter first made this movie, I think are just as same as they are now, if not worse, with the way the media, social media, cell phones. I think you could do a little bit more of a high-tech spin on the They Live, maybe something along the lines of like a Google Glass instead of like the sunglasses that just like an augmented reality glasses sort of thing. There's a lot of different cool things you could do with it, and I think a lot of the original themes from They Live, like I said, are still around. The economy's kind of crappy. The 99% are getting downtrodden, and like there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on in They Live, and it just hasn't gone away. It's still around since the 80s. It's just they sprayed some perfume on it. That way you wouldn't notice the rotting corpse of America's middle class in the back. So. All right, we are back. You might have saw a little stutter there. Apparently, I hit the point so damn hard that I knocked Ed's power out. Yeah, I was just like, boom, drop the mic. Some people, they're not as cool or as professional as me. They drop mics. No, I dropped the power, son. What? So, so we're back now, though, so don't worry about it. Honestly, if I hadn't pointed it out, you probably wouldn't even noticed.
Could be. And maybe we'll fix it in post, but probably not.
No.
Yeah, shit happens. And, of course, it was my apartment that went out, just my apartment.
Mm. That's your luck. Electronics hate you.
No, the electronics love me, but you're just too much. You're like the lawnmower man. You're just getting in there like...
There's a reboot we need. No, not really.
If they do it like the original story, I want to see it because it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, they would have to. I mean, all right. You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, not do a Lawnmower Man episode? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl nailed it. Bang, girls. So we are done for the day. And we'll be back tomorrow. And we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to talk about... I guess it's movies that will be that could be better as a long form. God, I got dick and mouth disease. What happened to me? Shit, I can't go.
Is that how you got the power back on so quick, huh?
I flipped the switch. Whatever it takes.
Cup the balls.
Yeah, I'll take a shot in the mouth if it gets me where I'm going. I love that line. Carlin. Okay.
It's the rules of the road. That exaggerated mouth open though, like before he goes down, that's the best part. He's like,
deep sea diver. Oh my god.
That's such a good one.
Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow talking about turning rebooting movies into a really cool long-form series for television and on demand, really, because who watches TV? It's all about the on demand. Right. So in the meantime, you can find everything VOR at www.vorradio.com. We've got really, really buff Facebook page. There's always something going on. Lots of sci-fi talk, lots of Star Wars. Collectors, come on over. We got your kind of ilk. Also has ways to give us feedback, either through voicemail called Republicom, which is coming up, and email. So check us out. Twitter links, everything, photos, fun, shit everywhere. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best website ever.
Yeah. It's not bad. There's a lot worse. It's not like GeoCities bad.
Yeah. You know, if you've been online, you know that there's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. So well, whatever. Till tomorrow. May the force
Be with
that